Right, clicker training, or marker training as it's called. So basically, clicker training is using a tool to mark when the dog's done a certain behaviour and following the reward. So if we ask the dog to sit and the dog sits, we click and then we give the reward. So it basically becomes a way of the dog knowing that it's done the correct thing and to come and get its reward. Now you can either use a clicker or you can use yes. Clickers allow for a more precise level of timing. So if you're trying to get like really precise heel work and sort of stuff like that, clickers allow for a more precise, accurate marking of the behaviour. But you can use, like, yes is just as good, but you have to be consistent. So always use the same word and understand that when you say that word, it means that the dog can break the position and come and get the reward. So that's your one of the markers. You then have a continuation marker, which is good. Well, I tend to use good, which means, so if I put the dog in a sit, I'm doing sit stays or down stays. I put the dog in a sit, I'll say good, which means to the dog, continue doing what you're doing, and then we're going to get to the yes, which means obviously come and get your reward, which means you've done everything perfect, spot on. You then have a nope, or a no, or a or a whatever you want to use, which basically means there's no punishment or anything behind it. It basically means that no, you've done the incorrect thing. So if I ask the dog to sit and he does it down, I just nope, like try again. Pops into a sit, I'll mark it with a yes or the click, and then reward. And then you have what's called a condition punishing marker. So this is very rarely used, I don't really use it a lot, but it is layered over something that is unpleasant to the dog, basically. So I'll give you what are you doing, you nut? Come here, I've got Otto here, just looking after him for the day, but he's going to help me show you some clicker training in a minute. So where were we? Yeah, so a condition punisher. So I'll give you a example. You've got an e-collar. Don't do this as well, for God's sake. This is not what e-collars are used for. You've got an e-collar, put it on the dog, put it on a very high level. Also, get your head out the chicken. Put it on a very high level, and you say a word, so it might be nope, or or no, a real stern word. After you say that word, following that word, a split second after saying it, hit the button on the e-collar. The dog then pairs that word with the sensation, allowing, so if you're out one day or whatever, the dog is bolting after something and you shout no, and it's the word that you've conditioned to the e-collar under that high stimulation, he's gonna remember that, shit himself, and basically listen to exactly what it is that you're telling him to do. So, but again, that's very rarely used. I very rarely use it because I tend to have my dogs under control and I don't allow them to get into those sorts of situations. You know, I understand that they have genetic predisposition for prey drive and stuff like that, and if we're around deers and, you know, things like that, you know, I'll either have the e-collar on them, not used in the way that I have just stated, but I'll either have an e-collar on them or I'll have them under control, you know, in a hill or whatever else. So yeah, so let's go over some clicker training and basically what it is and how we start off with it. So in the beginning, all we're going to do, you take a clicker, take a high value reward for the dog. So we got Otto, we're just looking after him for the day. We're going to do some bits with him. And all you're going to do in the beginning, dog looks at you, you're going to click, you're going to give him a piece of food. Click, give him a piece of food. Click. Simple. Just like that. Now, I don't know how far along or how well versed Otto is in the clicker, but you should be able to. So once the dog understands the concept, so Otto is now on a sit, yeah? So Otto, sit. Say good. I'm going to say good. So continue doing what you're doing. Good. Yes, good. So you can see he doesn't fully understand it because there was a slight bit of hesitation. But now I know that we just repeat this process, because basically what should happen is you click and the dog should explode and come to you because they know that you've got something good for him. Otto, come. Otto, come. Otto, good lad. We're just going to repeat this. So I'm going to wait. Good. Super. Good lad. Otto, sit. Nope, sit. Good boy. Good. Sit. Super. Good. Otto, sit. Nope. Sit. Sit. Good lads, you can see now he's really starting to understand. The click means my chicken's coming. Good lad. But you got to remember, like, you only want to use this when you're marking the correct behaviour. So I know people that they know that their dogs will recall to the click of this, and because their dogs aren't listening, they click this, which then marks the dog not listening. Granted, the dog will recall because they know their reward's coming, but you've just marked the behaviour for being out there. So remember, always mark the behaviour you want. Don't mark the wrong behaviour because then you're not teaching the dog what you want it to do, and then the dog goes and does this thing and it thinks, well, hang on a minute, I got rewarded for this before. So, Otto, come. Super! Good lad! Good lad! And notice how on the recall then as well, I didn't wait for him to get to me to mark the behaviour, because he's starting to understand the clicker and he's starting to understand that the click means reward. I marked the behaviour when he started to come towards me. So I noticed that he come around the tree then and he looked up and he was starting to walk towards me very slowly. So as soon as I marked the behaviour to say, yeah mate, like you're doing the right thing, come to me, he then picked up speed and come to me. So then you're going to build speed in the recall. Super. Sit. Oh, yeah. Super. Good job, mate. Good job. Otto, sit. Good lad. There we go. Good job, mate. Good. You like this chicken, don't you? Come on. Otto, sit. No, get your head out of there. Super. Good boy. There. Come on. Good job. Otto, come. Good lad. Good lad. Sit. Good lad. Otto, come. Good job, mate. Super. Otto, sit. Good lad. Super. God, this chicken's really bitty. You need to get your owners to cut it up a little bit bigger, didn't we? It's really bitty. Down. Good lad. Yeah, that's the basics of flicker training. So, any questions, pop them in the comments. And yeah, we'll go from there.